Choi, Happy New Year, and it's really important to the community, and we know you all have a lot on your plate, but to take time to acknowledge our community on this special day. I'm Wendy Urushima Khan, President and CEO, my personal favorite, and for more than 50 years, we have been providing culturally competent, multicultural behavioral health for the community in 30 languages. Fourth generation Japanese American, my grandparents and parents were in the internment camps, and they talk about, even being born here, how tough it was coming back home and being told. After the legend, the horse runs swiftly. May this year bring you progress and momentum in all that we do. Thank you.
It should be woven into everything that we learn throughout the year. But the mark of this centennial through creativity, resilience, and community. Through creativity, resilience, and community. A century ago, Carter G. Woodson created what was then called Negro History Week to ensure that Black history for the past is alive in our neighborhoods, our art, our music, and our collective future. Here in San Diego, that history is deeply rooted in communities like Julian, but inhabited by Black families who arrived to work in shipyards, in the defense industries, and railroads. They built churches, started businesses, died. And I'd be remiss if I did not call out Mr. Leon Williams, who was a trailblazer in so many ways for San Diego. This marks the first year where we are celebrating without his presence government throughout the county. We recognize the legacy reflected through the African American Association of County Employees and their dedication to promoting equity, inclusion, and opportunity for you, but I want to call out their good work anyway. We also recognize the legacy in the San Diego Black Arts and Culture District. The Black Arts and Culture District is more than a San Diego. Black stories and culture matter, and that culture is not something to be displaced, erased, or forgotten. The designation signifies that San Diego holds something so came before us while creating people. And the systems that we see recreate themselves, whether it be post-Reconstruction era, whether it be during parole laws, whether it be mass incarceration, whether it be ICE terrorizing our communities, it stems from the way this country was built. And so Black history is a time be truth tellers, and that's why I say it's American history, because the more we know and celebrate our heroes, and the more we know about our true past, the less that we will be deemed to repeat it in the future. So this is a time for us to come together and to honor cultures across the spectrum. But this country really is rooted in the way that it treated enslaved people, and we continue to see that type of behavior throughout our history. So that's why it's even more important to lift up those spaces with our Black artists that tell the story, that protect our culture, and that honor in these various public spaces. And with that, let me just read the final line of the proclamation. Be it proclaimed by all of the members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors on this 10th day of February 2026, that they commend the San Diego Black Arts and Culture District for their outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the residents of San Diego County. And we do hereby declare this month to be Black History Month throughout San Diego County.
Good morning. My name is I'm the Executive Director of the San Diego African American Museum of Fine Art. We are the managing entity for the San Diego Black Arts and Culture District, and we are truly humble and thankful. And especially Monica Montgomery, who was one of the people who helped us get this whole thing started. I'm a man of very few words, so I'm turning over to the Black Arts and Culture District Committee.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Dahan Blevins. I'm the Commissioner for Arts and Culture, and just as important, I am the CEO and founder of San Diego Urban Warriors, which is the community group who has given all the way from West Pratt all the way to this queen right here, who took the bait and ran with it, saying we need to have a Black Arts and Culture District in San Diego. Every other group in this city celebrates their culture, their art, their stories. I'm a native San Diego, and we never had that. So for us to have that now is something for this entire city to be able to celebrate. There's a principle that is called Kuchi Chagalia, and it's the principle that most of our leaders taught us to name, define, create, and speak for ourselves, instead of allowing others to name, define, and create, speak for us. With these 9 blocks, San Diego's Divine 9 Black Arts and Culture District, we as an entire city now have an opportunity to celebrate Black art and culture and raise the level of appreciation, because a lot of us don't know where it did. Raise the level of appreciation for Black art and culture. So I thank Monica Montgomery. I thank our entire community that stepped up to be the Black Arts and Culture District Committee, and now the challenge is on for all of us. Thank you again.
Good morning. My name is Francine Maxwell, and I serve on the Advisory Council. We are very honored to have she was the Councilwoman. Now she is our Board of Supervisors. Promotion. We appreciate Supervisor Monica Montgomery Step and all the supervisors for recognizing the Black Arts and Culture and Black History Month. It's not just a month, it is 365. I want to invite everyone to come to the Land of the Enchanted in Canto. It will change your perspective on the city of San Diego when you get to see and hear and touch, and you will feel the vibration of what it means to be Black in San Diego. So I want to make sure that you mark on your calendars. You are all invited to the Keepers of the Culture event. Please Google San Diego Black Arts Council, and you will see all the activities that are going around in this region. Again, this region is not just a month, it is 365 that we celebrate Black history. Thank you so much.
They say American history ain't Black history, this Black plight is a white history. The scheme of it is, but they didn't want to listen to any well-meaning folks with the wool on their eyes. They said we register, but they register with our lives. Welcome to the party. We've been here for a while. We've been living in the tragedy. We was living in wonderful. Our lives, we was playing on the beach, dying in the hospital, dying in the streets, dying in the church. All we wanted was peace. Some of y'all did, but the rest of y'all didn't. We were screaming from my lungs, but y'all didn't want to listen. Just say, once our reality brings tears to your eyes, you think this much a struggle to imagine life with a child. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are now going to have another presentation on proclamation by Chair Pro Tem Curie, and accepting the proclamation will be Diamond Brand.
If you're here in Chambers for me, come up here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today I have the honor and privilege of recognizing an extraordinary community leader, someone who, in the essence of Black Month, I want to uplift and celebrate as a person, business owner, and community pillar. Diamond Brandon is a visionary entrepreneur whose leadership, resilience, and innovation become more than a physical space. It is a living legacy. It is a place where people gather, feel, learn, and reconnect. It is a place where history is honored while new opportunities are intentionally created for future generations. Strong leadership is not only about vision, but also about stewardship, consistency, and care. It is about creating spaces where people feel supported and seen, and about building something that will last beyond any one moment, which is exactly the amazing work that Diamond is doing at the ranch. That leadership is also evident in the program centered on healing, empowerment, and belonging. One powerful example is the Women's Retreat program known as This Woman's Work. These retreats have created a sanctuary where women can rest, reflect, and renew, strengthening not only the women who attend, but also the families and communities they continue to hold. And we know that's more important now than ever. This commitment to excellence and community impact has been recognized across the region. In 2024, SNS Friendly Ranch was selected for the San Diego Tourism Authority's Accelerator Program, recognizing the ranch as both a cultural and economic asset to San Diego County. Diamond's dedication exemplifies the very best of what it means to serve and strengthen our community, and it is with great pride that we formally honor her today. With that said, I want to take a moment to read the last two paragraphs of the proclamation. Whereas the County of San Diego is committed to recognizing individuals whose service reflects the highest ideals of leadership, cultural stewardship, and public good, and Diamond Brandon is one such worthy individual. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Chair and the rest of the Board of Supervisors on this 10th day of February 2026 that we commend Diamond Brandon for her outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to community, and do hereby declare this day to be Diamond Brandon Day throughout San Diego.
Okay, that was a shock. That was a good surprise. They got me. I do not like to talk about myself, and I feel like the supervisor just said a lot about me and my emotions, and I'm so grateful for this honor. I'm grateful for the people who thought about me this month to honor. I don't want to talk about me. I actually want to talk about my grandparents. Being able to steward S&S Spring Ranch in honor of my grandfather Sim and my great aunt Sarah has been the honor of my life. What they poured into me, my siblings, my extended family, my cousins, is priceless. And even though they're no longer here, you see the roots of what they planted in us, and the way we walk, and the way that we carry ourselves in the world. And being able to honor them through stewarding that land, it fills me up, and it makes me feel like they're still here with me. And so I'm so grateful to be here with my friends and family. These are the people who hype me up and get me out my head every single day. These are the people who motivate me when I get tired, because the work is heavy. And carrying a family legacy is hard, but it's so worthwhile for the next generation and the generations that come after. And the last thing that I'll say is, if you have, small children in your family, pour into them. I'm standing here today able to give so much to my community, so much to my family, because of what was poured into me unselfishly. And people don't get that often. Generations of love and wisdom. My grandfather had an elementary school education, and that man was a landowner and a business owner and a homeowner here in the city of San Diego, but also extended out into different parts of California. And that is the dream. That is the dream I'm trying to preserve for my kids, for my nieces and nephews, for my extended family. But it can't be done without love, without sacrifice, without work, and coming into this with a pure heart. I could be in my ego, say a lot of things about me. I could be feeling myself, but honestly, I feel the weight of the responsibility to get this right, so that the next generation doesn't have to go through what I went through, and that they have the keys to the kingdom. They have the things that people die with, the secrets they die with. I want them to carry this legacy proudly, boldly, loudly in this city. It is unheard of for a black man and a black woman in that era to purchase 10 acres of land here in the city of San Diego. That is a powerful thing. And I don't take it lightly. To have that forethought and that foresight to just, my papa was a cowboy. I don't think he really understood what he did, but he did it. He had faith in himself. And I can take that faith he had in himself and put it in me and say, I can put this much further. I can take it where it needs to go in a new direction. And I can do it knowing that my kids will see that. And they are seeing it. And they are doing it. And they're going to do it for their generation, the generations that come after. And so I thank you. I'm so grateful and I'm so humbled. And I won't talk anymore because I'm going to cry. Rob, come up here. Come up here. Fernanda, come up here. Hurry, hurry. You gotta go right out. Don't make her say it. Oh, happy like it's new All right. So we're gonna be real quick, y'all.
Give it one over here. 1, 2, 3. One with the fist now. Go ahead. All right. I'll let them get it.
One up here. Everyone look up here. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Supervisors in the background. Okay, good. All right, ready. Cute. Love it. Good. Can you smile? All right. 3 more. Okay, good. 1 more. Good. Do you want to do this?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, 3. Okay, good. Okay, 1. Okay, 2. Last one. Thank you.
Thank you all. The fifth proclamation will be given by Supervisor Johnson, honoring President Rufino, accepting the proclamation. Will you ready?
Good morning, everyone. Today I'm honored to recognize Frank Rufino, a public servant who has dedicated more than 40 years to service to the people of California. Over the course of his career, Frank has served in the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Department of Fish and Game, the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, for ultimately serving as the Director of Pension and Benefits in the State Treasury's office. In this role, Frank worked tirelessly to promote the financial security of thousands of teachers and public servants, ensuring that they can retire with dignity and stability. As President and CEO of the Association of California State Supervisors, Frank championed fair pay and benefits, making public service a sustainable and respected career for countless Californians. Above all else, Frank Rufino's greatest accomplishment is his beautiful family, including his beloved wife, Gracie, their 3 children, and their 4 grandchildren. Frank, we cannot thank you enough for your service to the people of San Diego County and the state of California. I'd like to say that I got to know Frank when I started in the state legislature, and Frank is one of the many reasons I was proud to be a state legislator. He worked so hard for our state. He was always available to answer questions. You know, when as a freshman legislator, you're learning on from a fire hose, and having people that are stable, calm, who can pat you on the back and say, you'll get through it. And by the way, you should be thinking about the following things before you make this decision. Frank was that person to me and to many of my colleagues in the state legislature. He did a phenomenal job, and he's the reason why our state is such a great state. For these reasons, I'm proud to present this proclamation honoring you, Frank. And now I'd like to read the last paragraph while you have that. Be it proclaimed by the Board of Supervisors of San Diego County on this 10th day of February 2026 that they commend Frank P. Ruffino for his outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the citizens of San Diego County, and here to declare this day to be Frank P. Ruffino Day throughout San Diego County. Frank, thank you for your outstanding service. Would you like to say a few words and above your time?
Well, as you heard, after 40 years and 5 months, I decided to retire from state service. But while I am retiring from work, I am not retiring for community service, which I have done throughout my career. So, in one way or another, you probably will still see me in the community. Maybe even again serving for the county, as I served on multiple county committees throughout my career. Thank you, Supervisor Anderson, and thank you, Madam Chair, and members of the board for this. I'm very humbled for this recognition. Thank you.
Let's all crowd in what I'd like to say. Again, congratulations. Thank you for your service. It must be nice to have you. It's good to see you. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much. The sixth proclamation will be given by Supervisor Anderson and Supervisor Dutton, honoring the delightful chocolate patisserie and chocolatier. Accepting the proclamation will be David Coleman.
Good morning, everybody. I'm honored to join Supervisor Desmond in recognizing delightful chocolate, an outstanding small business here in San Diego County. I want to thank the founder, David Coleman, for being here with us today. Delightful chocolate has brought artistry and innovation to San Diego County, enriching the local economy with exceptional gourmet chocolate and pastries. Beyond her culinary talents, Daleen has dedicated herself to serving at-risk youth and families in North County, working with nonprofits like Teen Esteem Foundation and Casa de Amparo. She's also helped to launch the Master of Social Work program at California State University, San Marcos, an achievement that reflects her deep commitment to education and community service. Daleen has been an incredible leader, and we are proud to have her here and her business here in San Diego County. I'd like to turn it over to my colleague who has wonderful things to say.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Supervisor Anderson. Appreciate it. So Valentine's Day is quickly approaching, and it is truly delightful to have a renowned chocolatier with us here in the house. and her amazing pastry team from the unincorporated area in Lake San Marcos in District 5. Daleen studied in England. She earned her culinary arts degree in pastry at Le Cordon Bleu, London. That sounds really fancy. And trained in world-renowned chocolatiers. And to my colleagues out there, there's a purple bag at each one of our seats that is filled with chocolates for all of us to sample. So it gets to be a long meeting. You might see us having some of the chocolates. But Daleen, she's a longtime member of the Fine Chocolate Industry Association and the creator of Don't Lose Your Temper, sharing her chocolate expertise worldwide. Her award-winning business has been named Best in San Diego County by San Diego Magazine and honored with the San Marcos Chamber of Commerce Award in Excellence and Business Award, which reflects her unwavering commitment to the community, not just with her business and her employees, but also giving back to the community through leadership in local chambers, youth nonprofits, culinary arts events, and in education. So Daleen's journey is a testament to passion and perseverance. She's going to come up and speak a little bit, and sweet rewards of her crafts. So whereas the County of San Diego, we're very proud to recognize and honor individuals that exemplify the highest standards of public service, and Daleen Coleman is one such worthy individual. Therefore, be acclaimed by all members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors on this 10th day of February 2026 that we commend Daleen Coleman, founder of Delightful Chocolates Pastry. Did I pronounce that correctly? Patisserie, sorry. And chocolatier for her outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the citizens, all the citizens of San Diego County, and do hereby declare today to be Daleen Coleman Delightful Chocolate Day throughout San Diego County.
Okay, I'll keep this relatively short and sweet. First, thank you so much, Supervisor Hudson and Supervisor Henderson, for taking the moment to honor and recognize my woman in small business. I really do appreciate it. Delightful Chocolat was born from a little girl's dream, shaped from education, experience, determination, and a deep desire to create something meaningful. I was raised by a resilient young mother who faced more challenges than any parent should. Abandoned by her own parents, a teen mom in a toxic relationship, and eventually a single parent to 3 daughters under the age of 8. As the youngest, I didn't understand the strength it took for her to move us from Escondido to a small town in Central California, or why we relied upon church food distributions and hand-me-down clothes. What I did know was that she loved us fiercely, and she pushed us to seize every opportunity that came our way. When I was 10, she saved all year to send me and my sisters to a Western Ranch summer camp. I worked hard, learned fast, and by the end of the week, I was invited to join a traveling shirt writing troupe at no cost to my mom. For several years, I traveled across the U.S. and beyond, shining on stages and arenas. This opportunity opened my world and taught me the power of saying yes, believing in myself, and working as a team to achieve success. At 18, I returned back to North County, San Diego to pursue my education. This path was not always straight, but with my husband's encouragement, I completed my degrees and began serving the county, supporting at-risk youth and not-for-profit children organizations. I later joined a passionate team to build the Master of Social Work program at Cal State University, San Marcos. And just as that first cohort was admitted, opportunity knocked again. This time taking my young family to England. There I enrolled in the culinary program, Le Cordon Bleu, London, and I fell in love with chocolate, cuisine, patisserie. We eventually returned to San Diego in 2016, and I was eager to bring that passion home. On May 1st, 2017, I incorporated Delightful Chocolat with the mission to build a sustainable business that brings passionate people, lovely team, together to serve our community and support vital youth organizations. Today I serve on several boards, volunteer for charity events, and donate goods and services to causes I believe in. I stand here as someone who knows firsthand that when children are given opportunities and support to pursue them, they can thrive.
I am simply one example of that truth, and I am humbled to be recognized for making a positive and sweet impact on San Diego County and beyond. So my amazing team and I invite you to please come and visit our patisserie and chocolatier in Lake San Marcos, where we make exquisite desserts. Mary's an amazing pastry chef, and chocolates. Sylvia's. I hope you guys are enjoying them. We also offer afternoon tea on our beautiful patio, and we teach lots of classes on Saturdays. So, and also, one cool thing is we actually have an online shop and we ship all over the United States, and there's still time for Valentine's Day. So, thank you so much again for this honor.
Thank you very much.
I want to place an order to the There you go. Look at thanks. Equal access.
Thank you both for bringing the proclamation. I tasted the chocolate. It was delicious. So thank you. We are now moving on to our final proclamation by Supervisor Jim Desmond, honoring the warrior homes. Accepting the proclamation will be Rick SPT.
Okay, last but not least, what we learned in the military was hurry up and wait. So thank you for waiting. And being here today. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. We are honored today to have special guests from North County, the Wounded Warrior Homes Organization. This is an incredible team led by Eric Especia. How do you pronounce your name? Especia. Eric Especia, he's a chairman and executive director and also a retired U.S. Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel. I want to thank you for your service and how you empower all of our veterans. It's truly inspiring to have all of you here today. San Diego County is home to the largest military and veteran population in the nation. Since 2010, the Wounded Warrior Homes has provided transitional housing, essential support services for veterans with traumatic brain, post-traumatic stress, and service-related challenges. They have been led by military experience and supported by dedicated staff and volunteers. They deliver care and excellence with honor. The leadership team today reminds us that investing in our veterans strengthens our entire community. And building on that mission, I'm soon going to be advocating for full property tax exemptions for 100% disabled veterans in our county. They deserve it. They've served for it. They've been willing to put their lives on the line. They were disabled in the military. They should not have to pay property tax. Whereas the County of San Diego, we're proud to recognize and honor organizations that exemplify the highest ideals of public service. The Wounded Warrior Homes are one such worthy organization. Therefore, be it proclaimed by all members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors, give the official proclamation here, that we, on this 10th day of February 2026, that we commend the Wounded Warriors Homes for their outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the citizens of San Diego County, and to hereby declare this day to be Wounded Warrior Home Day throughout San Diego County. So congratulations, thank you for doing everything you do.
volunteer and who specializes in our program outreach, and he's an upcoming board member. Allie Stanton, to his side, also a volunteer, program outreach, and an upcoming board member. I have Dennis Bishop, volunteer in our program support manager. Next to him is Joseph Davis. He's a resident in our men's transitional housing program. Both Joe and Daniel are military veterans. And Wounded Warrior Homes has played a major role in providing services. Our first major program, veterans, in our traditional transitional housing program. We now currently have updated our major programs to include. At one point, not on my script, is that we took our program development and what was required from the VA studies and other foundations that were looking at what our nation's veterans needed. And so that outcome of their studies provided our three major programs. First, Operation Mental Health. Today, Wounded Warrior Homes has licensed therapists to assist in the mental health of our veterans, both male and female veterans. We team with Serene Health Group, providing cutting-edge mental health services like PR, TMS. Our success story? We are now treating veterans using traditional counseling and PR, TMS treatments from Serene Health. Our second program, which many people consider the critical program of our three, and that's the Women's Veterans Center. We provide women veterans and her children a safe counseling services and a food pantry. A success story? Our first female veteran graduated from her registered nursing certification program, or RN, and has moved to her first nursing job out of state. We are now taking applications for one new opening. Our third program, and it's our traditional program, it's our men's transitional housing. This provides housing for male veterans where we assist their educational and vocational skills to re-enter their ultimate civilian career. Our success stories are many. Recent veterans include Brandon, who received his technical certificate in music production, and Carter, who received his Bachelor of Science in Informational Science. Both are now working. We have Juan, who has moved into his first permanent residence. Juan is a story unto himself for what he has gone through in his lifetime. And so we consider Juan a great success, one step at a time. Our college programs that we help our veterans through include engineering, animal behavioral health science, nursing, and criminal justice. We engage in programs to assist in employment development. Future events. This May 2026, we are embarking on our Fairways for Veterans Celebrity Golf event. We are teaming with the NFL. The event will be to support our military veterans. Play golf with us and have an NFL legend play with you, the entire 18 holes. Support us. It's critical. These programs that we have are expensive. They're time consuming, but they're worth it. So support us. Visit our website at woundedwarriorhomes.org. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very Okay, thank you very much. Before we begin this meeting, I'd like to take a moment to address the House of Rules. Public engagement is the cornerstone of transparent and accountable government, and these Board of Supervisors meetings are one of the primary venues for all state agencies committed to this work. The county is committed to a work environment free from unlawful discrimination and harassment, including sexual, racial, religious, age, disability, and other forms of discrimination or harassment. Rules speakers may not use loud, shouting, threatening, impertinent slanders, profane, or abusive language. Any member of the board, staff, or general public. Additionally, all remarks and questions must remain on topic and immigration or speaking time and must be addressed. Each speaker engages in comments that breaks rules will be issued a warning. After the warning, you will be asked to leave the chamber for the remainder of the meeting. Finally, speakers threatening violence may be reported to law enforcement and engagement deliberation in progress, not for harassment or violence. We now begin with non-agenda communication. This is an opportunity for the public to address the board and subject matters in our jurisdiction, but not our meeting agenda. The only action we may take is a referral to the CAO. Under the board's rules, speakers may speak once per meeting, for non-agenda comment, either at today's session or tomorrow's, but not both. And you may select which session to address at your convenience. To facilitate the meeting, we will have 5 non-agenda speakers in person and 5 non-agenda speakers by phone. And the first 5 in-person speakers will be randomly selected. The remainder of non-agenda public comment will be heard at the close of today's session. In accordance with board rules, in order to ensure time and completion of today's agenda, for any discussion items to 10 or more speakers, individuals may have 1 minute to share their opinion. A reminder, according to Rule 4A, members of the public that are not English speaking and need interpretation assistance receive choice of allowed time for comments. Final reminder, according to the board's rules of procedure, items members shall not listen, clap, stop, beat, or do anything constructive to proceedings. If you disrupt the meeting, will be given 1 warning. After that 1 warning, if you disrupt the meeting again, you will be directed to the chamber. Andrew, please close the case.
Thank you, Chair Wasserman. We have 19 requests to speak on matters not listed on the agenda, 7 in person and 12 requesting to speak by phone. For those that requested to speak by phone, please dial into the conference line using the instructions that were provided to you. We'll begin with the in-person speakers and will now randomly select the first 5 speakers in person. All the remaining speakers will be heard at the conclusion of today's session. As your name is called, please come forward and stand on the arrows until it is your turn to speak at the podium. You will have 2 minutes to address the board, and please begin by stating your name for the audio record. I'd like to invite forward the first 3 individuals: Aaron Landau, Gilbert Chavez, allegedly Audra, and they'll be followed by Greg Sowisterzal and Parita Javier. We are the first 5 speakers this morning. If I've got your name, please come forward.
Thank you. Supervisors, my name is Aaron Landau. I first got to know Supervisor Anderson many years ago when he spoke at a Rotary meeting. I was impressed with his take on public service. I later attended a December open house that he hosted as State Senator of Toyota of El Cajon. I attended 2 meet and greets there. I recently attended his December one at the Lakeside Rodeo. None of this is unusual, except I'm a lifelong Democrat. A Democrat who votes for competent candidates regardless of political party. I have voted consistently whenever he was a candidate in my voting district. What brings me here today is to publicly acclaim Supervisor Anderson for his outstanding, tireless, compassionate, and issue-oriented work currently as a county supervisor. I praise him for his entire illustrious career as a public servant in whatever elected position he ever held. Joel Anderson is one of the most consummate elected officials that I've ever met. He is the best of the best. He cares for all his constituents, even those he knows who do not We continually cross the aisle to work with the supermajority Democrats to get legislation enacted. He's a pragmatist. I imagine he works with his fellow supervisors to do what is the best for the residents of San Diego County. The voters in District 2 are indeed blessed to have Joel Anderson as their supervisor, as is San Diego County glad to have him as one of the 5. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Gilbert Chavez. I'm a resident of Spring Valley, California, and I've been that way for about 44 years. My reason for today is the fact that there's 3 openings on the board of community service there. There's a Spring Valley Community Program. And the reason I'm bringing this forward is because I applied for this position when there was 3 seats open at that time, back last year in March. And since then, there's been a lot of turmoil. I understand that there's some voting going on. There's a seat that wasn't open, and now we have a seat vacant, not vacant, and taken. My point is, I'm trying to get this expedited. I've been waiting for over a year to fill the seat. I've been interviewed twice. I've been voted twice. I've done all the online requirements that's done for this particular seat, and yet we have not filled those seats. My point, we need to get this expedited. I want to be part of this community. I've been there for a long time. I've raised 3 children there. They've all gone to the same schools in the Spring Valley area. I've seen a change in Spring Valley in 44 years. 125. I want to make the community safer. I'm trying to do better for my community, and I'm trying to do this by getting on this board and helping. I also volunteer for the sheriff. I'm a sheriff senior volunteer. I'm also involved in the community with another organization, the Spring Valley Coalition. And this is just a group of people that we live with, trying to make neighborhood house a neighborhood program. And I'm just asking, can we just get this through and get these seats filled? There's 2 other people waiting behind me that should be on this board. And I'm just pleading that we get it done. I don't know what it takes, a vote, a sign, something. We need to fill those seats. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
How crazy is it that people eat babies, right? It's interesting. And run our nation and world, and it just falls upon deaf ears, right? But I mean, you guys have your child trafficking network right here at Alfredo. Yeah. So it's just interesting to come to talk to child traffickers and think that they're going to care that babies are being eaten when you guys actually encourage them to be ripped apart limb by limb because they're just a clump of cells. But it's interesting to see such an active cover-up of, pedophilia running rampant in our nation and the world, right? I mean, you come to you guys and you tell what's going on in your own agency, and it's like, that is a conspiracy. Yet we know that I don't think you guys would be upset that Donald Trump is a part of this. I mean, but it's like Democrats or Republicans. I mean, that's why I ask you guys, are you pedophiles? Because it's like, how can you not care that this kind of stuff goes on in our world? Right in our county. It's so interesting. It's funny being like, up in this place is like literal hell just seeping up from the earth, and it smells like sulfur. And it's sad because it's like Alfredo Coronado. That's right. And then you guys sit up here and virtue signal for an hour and a half like the world around us is so great. All while you guys take our money to destroy people's lives. And it's disgusting because it's like there's so much pedophilia, not only in the agencies or places that you guys operate, but in the schools, at the church. I mean, it's like Waldo's everywhere. But it's interesting because that's just a conspiracy, right?
Very top here.
Good morning. I am Purita here, senior with existing medical condition and victim of ceramics manufacturing and kiln toxicity. We join you to share lessons as community advocacy volunteers of District City of the San Diego District 9 has common boundary with National City with Councilor Rivera as elected leadership. We live in fear from ceramics kiln to the city since 1997. My doctor declared that anxiety has contributed to increased forgetfulness and elevated blood pressure compounded by moderate late onset dementia. Okay. County Health and Human Services has involved in ensuring my health and safety. Thank you, Uncle Sam. We ask help from the city of San Diego since June 2021. Starting with the police, fire, hazmat, code.
Thank you.
Am I next, sir?
No, you're not. I'm calling this up to the next speaker, please. Grace, solicitors on.
Thank you for that. Good morning, Chair and Supervisors. My name is Greg Solicitor-Law. I am the President of ASCII Local 122. I represent the skilled crews who make film and television possible here in San Diego County. San Diego has the locations, the weather, the workforce, and the infrastructure, but we're still losing productions to regions that are simply easier and more predictable to work in. The result is lost local spending, fewer work days for residents, and missed opportunities for small businesses across the county, from hotels and catering to construction and transportation. The County Film Initiative is a practical solution. Establish a County Film Commission for governance, a County Film Office to make permitting, and a targeted rebate program that returns value by requiring local hiring and local spend. Please consider supporting this initiative in full, and let's make San Diego film ready year-round and keep those dollars and jobs here. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear from those that requested to speak by phone. Again, in accordance with the board's rules, we'll be hearing from the first 5 callers. The remaining callers will be heard at the conclusion of today's session. When it is your turn to speak, you will be unmuted and you will hear a recording that will tell you to begin your comments. We will start with our first caller.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Stephen Watson. My father, Nick Watson, was murdered in San Diego. He died while under court-ordered house arrest. He was in your custody, but instead of investigating, your agencies classified him as a transient to waive the mandatory autopsy. Documents were falsified by the medical examiner and the San Diego Police Department to remove any evidence of foul play. The medical examiner is deferring to the police, and the police are deferring to the medical examiner. The medical examiner knows there are problems with the death certificate that they filed, but they still haven't revoked the waiver that they issued to the police. And I filed liability claim number 42159 against the city. All of this happened in your jurisdiction, so what are you going to do about it?
Thank you. We'll now hear from the next colleague.
All of those, too much abuse. It's so McCormick, Amber Ebbing, Evelyn Lopez, the 150 or more Walensky Center abuse cases, along with other abuse cases, people and animals, makes me wonder if the board takes care of its own, but ignores all the hurt to others its policies cause after the vote. And now there's Delilah, who would starve to death of 3 months in 2021 by her unfit adoptive parents. The county created a, quote, safety plan, unquote, but the only actual visit was at 1 month. A child welfare plan without monitoring is not much of a plan. More county neglect. I'm calling for a personal audit of the CSWD, the Child and Family Wellbeing Department, and the other agencies which deal with the public. Let's say the name change from CPS and CWS to CSWD was worth it. The board chair is also floating possible reforms for supervisors, including herself, make the county's top manager an elected official, creating county mayor. This is being plotted with the Center for Policy Initiative Director Kyle Green, who suggested declaring racism a public health crisis in the county, saying that the county has a long history of white supremacist organizing and activities. And she said that only women and people of color should run for office for the sake of democracy. The big picture here.
Okay, from the next column.
Barbara Gordon. February is all about love, and at this time, the county needs all the love and kindness it can get. As a public health advocate, I want to recognize February as Heart Health Month. We need to take our heart health seriously, as high blood pressure is the most commonly underlying condition identified. We know from research, smoking is a major cause of high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. Most people with high blood pressure, known as hypertension, don't know they have it because with no symptoms or warning signs, it has earned the nickname as the silent killer. As a Harvard research review published in the Journal of American College of Cardiology, higher risk of dying of complications of high blood pressure than marijuana non-users. High blood pressure is preventable. Daily exercise, healthy diet, and are the keys to keeping your blood pressure under control. Understanding the risk of tobacco and marijuana use and cardiovascular health is essential. I urge all to keep our hearts healthy by fostering more tobacco. We can work towards a healthier and safer community. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Okay, from the next column.
Hey, it's true. Chipmunk Namoy that this county board system built on enslaved staffers because promoted Monica has 15. Interesting to see Epic fighter nefarious Nick Machione come crawling back with his new job to get a political prop from his old job. Next, Manuela made an extra dumb social media video about, quote, eliminating the Seawater River, end quote. When an actual Ivy resident and farmer said, what kind of river diversion, Manuela, are they talking about? Is it the river diversion that we've had for the last 40 years, which captures all sewage in Seawater and sends it 7 miles south of the border? Or is Manuela suggesting that we capture all of Seawater sewage and dump it off in Imperial Beach untreated? You see, there's the reason Manuela was, again, not invited to these Zelda's recent San Diego visit. Because who in their right mind says eliminate the river when it's been there since the beginning of time as a water source for what used to be the best farming land in the county? See, Manuela's BS idea to waste tax dollars is the worst sewage to ever hit Ivy and District 1. Next on the county's animal cruelty, from an email sent on January 8, 2025 from Rachel Borelli to Michelle French with Dog Race CC, quote, Dog Franklin was euthanizing Charles at the day he was returned to the shelter. California Food and Agriculture Code Section 17005 mandates a minimum holding period of 4 days, but not for animals that are relinquished by their owner. The shelter may proceed with adoption or euthanasia without waiting. If the animal is not adoptable, euthanasia will be done as soon as possible. Please let me know if you have any questions. Rachel Borelli, Interim Assistant Director of Animal Services, end quote. Michelle replied, January 9th, quote, does this policy apply to those that have not signed a release for euthanasia? The Haiti legislation reads that each animal brought into a shelter be held for a minimum of 6 business days to give an opportunity for adoption instead of killing them immediately, end quote. Fire Borelli, and yes to reduce term limits for this corrupt county board.
You, now here from final call this one.
Hey, Gordon Solo here. So yeah, I just, this is so disturbing. The board chair is floating possible reforms that could extend term limits for supervisors, including herself, and make the county top manager an elected official, creating a county mayor. Holy fuck. This is being plotted with Center for Policy Initiatives Director Kira Green, who suggested declaring racism a public health crisis in the county. It's called ignorance, Kira. Okay, racism, there's only one race, sister. Get a clue. Anyways, okay, back to my speech. My record here, every meeting you begin with the same way, acknowledging indigenous tribes, honoring the First Nations people, and the land we now call home. And yet everything that follows contradicts that acknowledgement. These proclamations have always been divisive. They keep boxes while the county continues business as usual. And when it comes to certain groups, suddenly it turns into a spectacle, celebration, and performance instead of real solutions for real human suffering. Meanwhile, there are people in this county, many of whom I meet weekly, sometimes daily, working 2 or 3 jobs, still smiling, still pushing forward, but completely depleted. They're exhausted. They're just trying to stay afloat. This is not how we were meant to live. We are the only species on the planet that pays to exist on it. People need the truth that we are not sweet. You are sugarcoating it, distract people with technology, entertainment, and endless proclamations, but freedom does not exist when your entire life is traded away in time just to survive. You own nothing. Everything you have was paid for with the hours of your life, and nearly every system.
You and Chair Lawson Reamer, that concludes the request for non-agenda communication this morning. Again, all the remaining speakers will be heard at the conclusion of today's session.
Okay, thank you very much. The next item of our agenda is approval of minutes, statements of proceedings for the general legislative session of January 27th and January 28th, and minutes for concurrent special district meeting in the City of County Fire Protection District of December 9th. Is there a motion to approve minutes? Have a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Andrew, please call the vote.
Chair Lawson Reamer, that motion passes unanimously. All supervisors being present and voting aye.
Okay, great. We now proceed with the formation individuals may comment on the consent agenda after the supervisors provide us with a discussion. If any of my colleagues have any items from discussion, comments on any of the items on the consent agenda. Vice Chair Martin Step.
No comments at this time, but then start.
Thank you. I have comments, but I can talk to public comment, and then I'd like to pull item 2.
Okay, thank you very much. We have Supervisor Anderson. And
I have a couple of comments, one might be long, and I'll let the county council decide if the item is not, if I get too far on this thing. Item 5, on the appointments to boards and commissions. There's a lot of commissions on there, a lot of them that hardly ever meet or don't meet anymore. And group, District 5. But my staff contact no longer exists, so I'd like to ask them to go on.
it's legally still existing, but it never meets. So I think it's, so we are legally supposed to put someone on it, but it is true, it hasn't met in many years. So I think it's your choice. You know, we could leave it blank. You know, would love to see you as the ghost of Sandak past, but also it is not meeting. So I think that's really
Well, we got an email. I don't have it from. Oh, actually, I do. Antoinette Meyer, Senior Director of Planning, said the Base Road Bikeway is no longer active.
It's no, that's exactly correct. It's not active. That is accurate. That is exactly correct. So it is legally in existence, and we're supposed to put someone on it, but it does not meet. Not our fault. This
Sounds
is
like good government there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll leave it alone. On that one, on item 6, this is one I got some comments on. This one is improving safety and labor standards in county parks. And I have some concerns with this one. You know, I think this should more be geared towards just waterfront park, but unfortunately in the definitions of item 6, it includes all county parks. And so I have a concern there. What I'm mostly concerned with is this item, it doesn't, I'm not clear with this item that it should not apply to community events and smaller events held by community organizations like the rodeos and Renaissance fairs in the unincorporated areas. Those are run by volunteers, not large production companies. And the two items that it really comes down to are if there's any rigging going on or as part of the setup or tear down, and then if there's 100 amps or more, then it's a high impact event and needs to this all need to apply to. My issue is with the rigging, and what I did is I asked staff what's the definition of rigging. They sent me to OSHA has the definition for rigging. We looked that up, and rigging can be anything from a rope and a pulley and a weight to a large, it's rigging is on ships for throwing the sails. Also at concert venues is for rigging lights and for rigging curtains and things like that. So rigging can be very, very minor. It can be very, very big. To me, the rigging at a rodeo for rodeo lights or rodeo stands or things like that could be included, and therefore the smaller organizations aren't going to be able to put out their event. Either come back with a better line in the sand about what rigging is or what extent of rigging, or we have 100 amp for electrical, but we don't have, is it 1,000 pounds of rigging? And I understand staff told me, well, we don't really apply it out there. Well, but that's the way it's written. And so I don't want what's written, so somebody 10 years from now will look at this and say, well, no, now you got it, because there's rigging to hold up these lights, which is basically just a rope and a weight. So I'd like to see this for waterfront park only, or that it doesn't apply to the incorporated area, or comes back later. So I guess this would be to the chair, because this was your item. if we could get some more clarity, I don't want it to cancel concerts and events, not concerts, but events in the unincorporated area.
Just to clarify, it is written to only apply to high impact events. So
Yes.
That's in there. I don't foresee an issue. I don't really want to take an amendment on that problem might surface in 10 years, but I'm certainly open to, if I will report back in a year, and if there's any events that have been canceled because of the regulations, for us to refine them.
Okay, well, it does say in the higher impact events, a tear down of non-permanent green. That's it.
Yeah, so high impact events is so basically this is really the whole ordinance only applies to high impact events. So
True,
yeah.
but with the definition of within a high impact event is identified as having rigging or a large power system. So I don't want any rigging. It should have, in the high power system, it has a maybe it's pounds or something like that. But to me, just to rule out any rigging, because it just says any non.
It's like everybody's trying to talk. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Just discuss the definition of rigging in this context. That might be helpful for the conversation.
Should I hold this? It's okay. I don't know, Amy. Okay.
Thank you for the question, Supervisor. If I may, to the chair, I would start by saying that the definition is consistent with state law, which was already passed by the board in October 2021. We passed the board resolution requiring that for all live events that we comply with the, section 9251, which puts the definition of, which talks about rigging as being requiring that folks are going to need a OSHA certified training. So our definition is actually consistent with state law as well as consistent with OSHA standards. And so when we talk about rigging in the vernacular, it is talking about moving large, equipment, lighting up in the air, hoisting, lifts. That's where it's always going to apply. And this policy, which the board passed in 2021, which requires that we comply with state law, it's already been in effect in all the county parks. So all the events that have been taking place since 2021 have had to comply with this requirement. And none of the events that we were talking about, Supervisor, have triggered any of these types of issues. Because again, rigging, part of the law that requires OSHA certification is the idea of moving large suspension systems, hoisting. It means a lot of things that are OSHA.
Well, I'd like to see that more clarified, because right now it just says rigging, and that could be, and I get it for large weights, okay?
Okay, I just
But
want to
it's
say
for
this for the
lighting.
record. Thank you so much, Brandon.
Okay.
I appreciate your concern. For the record, legislative intent is that we use state law alignment and how you're right. So I think that's pretty clear that this has been written in a way to align with state law standards. If that's not clear, just saying for the record. Jim, sorry, if you get reports in the next year of events being canceled, let's revisit this. But I don't think we need to speculate about what might happen in 10 years. Well, a lot of things that might happen in 10 years.
I'd like to, Andrew, I'm registering no vote analysis.
Okay.
Thank you.
We got a no vote from Supervisor Dozen. Okay. Comments? One item, hold on. Is just on the item 1, which is the exemption competitive legal rights for people with competitive conduct and partners for justice. I just wanted to thank the team. It's a great program. Really excited. And defenders are supposed to be both attorneys and social workers. That's both of those tasks are enormous and overwhelming. It's incredibly critical for our community, and to think that one person can do it all is just totally unrealistic. So this is a really wonderful program that allows everyone to focus on what they do best. So thank you very much for including this. We will. Supervisor Curie, can you comment? Okay. We will now move on.
Speak on items in the consent agenda. 8 in person and 10 requesting to speak by phone. Again, as a reminder, reminder, items 2, which relates to Fire Protection District Item 1, from the consent agenda for discussion. Any individuals that requested to speak on those items, please hold your comments until the board discusses those items. We'll receive public comment on those items separately. Any individuals that requested to speak on the remaining items in the consent agenda by phone, please dial into the conference line now using the instructions that were provided to you. We'll begin with the in-person speakers. As your name is called, please come forward and stand on the arrows and fill as your name is speak at the podium. You will have 2 minutes to address the board. I'll ask you to begin by stating your name for the audio record. Also, when speaking, please identify which items on the consent agenda you are speaking about. I'll be calling you groups of 3, so I'll ask you to please listen for your name. I'd like to invite for the first 3 individuals, Cesar Javier, allegedly Audra Fernanda Flores. Call your name, please come forward.
Cesar, we have to take on this discussion. Number 1, please, we are against this exemption. Contracts, procurement on services we are not qualified to do should be deliberately studied, competitive, in short. Number 2, this item looks like dead because it should be all about water. It should be about equipment. It should be about quality of people in the fire department, including the janitor, etc. Number 4 and number 5, God make our minds, intelligent minds, more powerful appointees of members. Particularly, I give this example. We volunteered on the advisory head culture measure for some political reason, like our district on the state. Number 6, rules, policies should conform, would be accord with the changing time. Mommy State, you failed us in this. And lastly, which we are craving to discuss the priority life and death Tijuana River Valley pollution crisis. Mama Gire, it should be here. Because that's the priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Allegedly Audra Fernanda Flores. I'll call you, please, forward. Come forward in any order.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Fernanda Flores. I am the Political Director with the International Alliance of the Anti-Golden Station Post Local 122. Thank you so much for your leadership, for leading with values. I am here to speak on item number 6. We are in full support of adopting this resolution as is. Thank you again for your leadership in supporting this back in 2021. We know that the entertainment industry brings millions of dollars into our region. This policy, what it would do, it would add, improve the enforcement mechanisms conducted to ensure that the event productions comply with ensuring that workers are trained, certified, and able to decipher worker safety hazards or dangers on the job. We know that these events are outdoors. Varying weather conditions can make it that much more dangerous. So adopting this policy really strengthens and improves the policy adopted in 2021. Thank you again, Chair Lawson-Reamer, for your staff and your dedication, for the Department of Olsley as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. As the next speaker is coming forward, I'd like to invite 3 additional speakers. Rudy Lombardia and Mark. Please come forward.
here we go with your San Diego County Child Care Development Planning Council. That should be abolished because HHS and CNWB traffic children. We have this council that is, taking human trafficking training. Good thing. To make sure they can spot it. Right. But that doesn't happen. Right, Elizabeth or Alfredo? Right. It's interesting because, shouldn't Arabella, McCormick, and Delilah be enough to make you guys go, yes, there is a problem, even though there's current problems right now with the families that you're ripping apart and hiding sexual abuse of? Starved to death when they have even encountered the agency. And it's funny because, Alfredo will send, and it was Kimberly at the time, but infants, twin infants, how cool is that, right? But then when there's actually abuse happening, you guys are like, you know what? I do it because we don't get funding if we stop it. But we do get funding if we continue it, because then, there's therapy that these children need, keeping them in a foster situation. Lots of money that comes in from that, Title IV funding. Right, Elizabeth? Yes. Yes, so you guys are going to continue to traffic children. More children are going to continue to die. Can you imagine being a 3-month-old at less than 4 pounds when you're supposed to be 14? Or an 11-year-old who's 48 pounds, which is like the size of a 5-year-old. But hey, nothing to see here. Doesn't happen, right? As long as we pull wool over people's eyes, you guys are going to know.
Please come forward.
Hi, my name is Scott Silver. I work with IATSE 122 as a stagehand, and we work all over the place. One of the places that we work is right there. My main concern as an employee is safety when I show up. Our productions move very, very quickly, and it's up and it's down and it's gone by the time most people even think about it. Is it important that our employees stay safe? It's of top priority that our the people coming to the shows are also safe. It's very important. We're looking at a yes vote for Section 6, and it would help everybody in the safety aspect. It's really, safety is everybody's concern, and I would appreciate a yes vote. Thank you.
The next speaker is coming forward on by 3 names. Speakers in person, Juan Perez, and Greg Solis Rizal.
I want to thank God.
Item 4.
I was on her side and still had no idea how corrupt CPS is until I saw this documentary, Never in America by Ryan Mata on Rumble.com and YouTube. Here's some bullet points this film makes about Child Protective Services. 1. Provision in the law that they are required to file for a termination of parental rights. 2. The baby was left alone for long periods. That baby's skin was burned from laying in its own vomit. 3. The hospitals and CPS get a lot of money as soon as the child is separated from the parent. Police, doctors, and hospital workers define abuse accusations they can make. 6. The shelter care hearing hides information on cases beyond confidentiality laws and places gag orders on parents. A criminal has more rights than a parent in these courts. 7. At the direction of their county supervisors, CPS is a business which gets more money for removing more children. 8. The right for states to take your child began in 1974 with CAPTA, but few children were taken from their parents until the Families Act gave funding through the federal government and unlimited funding for hospitals through Medicare and Medicaid, making it extremely profitable. 9. Under Title 4D of the Social Security Act, the federal government is essentially paying CPS agencies every time they accuse someone of abuse, whether the allegation is true or not. About 443,000 children were removed by CPS yearly, and state government gets reimbursements based on the rate of adoptions. 10. Government, police, hospitals, and CPS have immunity for violating your constitutional rights to take your children. 11. Every celebrity, politician, or independent journalist that tried to expose CPS has died, including Senator Nancy Schaefer of Georgia, who was shot dead in her home right before plans to release her documentary on
Hey everybody, good morning. Chair, Supervisors, my name is Juan Perez. I'm the organizer with IATSE Local 122, the Stagehands Union, the Union Behind Entertainment. These large concerts, high-impact events bring big crowds, big dollars, and big opportunity, but so often the economic benefits leave with out-of-state contractors while San Diego workers are left behind. This ordinance includes a good faith local hire requirement. That means that these jobs, these hundreds of jobs per event, can help San Diego build real careers and support the skilled workforce that keeps our region competitive for major events, film, and TV production. When we invest in workers here, we're investing in San Diego's cultural and economic future. This is about making sure the people who build the stage also share the spot of the public. Let's keep these good jobs here in our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again, Supervisors. My name is Rex Rizal. I'm the president of the IATSE Local 122, and I want to speak in favor of item 6. It is important that we keep our stages safe in San Diego. This council has, I want to acknowledge that in 2021 we passed this, and this made it all the way to the state, which is what really broadened safety standards statewide. What item 6 is trying to do is to put the teeth behind it to make sure that people are following those rules. I understand that, a lot of people don't realize that this industry doesn't have a lot of safety standards behind it. They think it's just like construction. Construction has tons of safety standards behind it. Our industry doesn't have that. This is the first time that we've actually put something forward, and that's why we're trying to push this with some more teeth to make sure that this gets done appropriately and people stay safe on the job site. So I want to say thank you for taking the steps that you have so far. I hope that you can vote this through today so that we can keep things safe, and I appreciate your time today.
Not seeing any movements in the chamber. We'll now hear from those that requested to speak by phone. Again, when it is their turn to speak, you will be unmuted and you'll hear a recording that will tell you to begin your comments. We will start with our first caller.
Although we would pay item 9, we would pay $10,500 a month this year for a 781 square foot increase on Estes, with our cost increasing to $31,000 and a half per month next year. That's outrageous. Number 1, the board letter says that advocates would assist with obtaining mental health and substance abuse treatment, assessing eligibility, and enrolling. But there are other problems like cell phone or computer addiction or just plain social incompatibility. The board letter does not address these. To say that how people are behavioral health, not a a sole source provider of duplicate service. 6, an ordinance. Both readings, but especially the first reading, does not belong on the consent calendar. We should have the full 2 minutes to discuss an ordinance, not an hour to go. Call items on consent, especially if you interrupt random because you can't decipher what the subject was from the words on the title, taxis or whatever the subject is, like was done to me on January 27th. Define higher impact events as temporary in section 21.2802E. It appears that this leaves out to work on.
Thank you. Here for the next caller.
Next caller is Truth.
Hey, it's Truth. I don't want $400,000 for Partners for Justice or Partners for Profit. Is this extra service for kids locked up in juvie, or is it just attorneys having to do less work? I agree for decades, NCAS has apparently not been abiding by county code and not processing criminal history information on for-hire drivers. So yes, giving authority to sheriffs where it belongs. I'm for considering the scandals coming out of Lewinsky and closed session cases, the County Child Care and Development Council needs a huge audit. Item 5, the hidden appointment roster shows the most stipends for the least work now goes to those with 6 paid appointments. But why the heck is Jim okay with being on the Bayshore Bikeway? That's my mother's trash. Make her take it back. And why is Sarah on the selection committee for ITOP when she fails to even show up? And item 6, Jim, here's the joke. Everyone on this board should be well acquainted with the term rigging. Seriously, yes, rigging can be as simple as putting tape on cables or stringing up some lights. It's not about safety, it's about money. So no to wasting $165,000 to force rigs or union demands of an unrealistic $25 minimum wage for private business already paying to use public land. If you guys can't even keep safe labor standards at local restaurants that are using illegal slave labor, how are you going to manage safe labor standards at parks? Item 8. Notice and cheating people of $278,000 in non-county money. If it's not yours, why have you been wrongly holding on to it? Why not refund it all to every registered county citizen? Item 11. Notice County Pollution Crisis Chief getting paid $200,000 a year to talk about the studies, and notice Deputy Chief Financial Officer getting paid $297,000 a year to do nothing. Item 10. Notice selling 11 acres of land for 50 back shoved into the city of Sandy against their consent. Nobody wants the corrupt county drug addicts and sex offenders that nearby dangerous Edgemore already provide. Hence the $60,000 just to clean up homeless drug tents. Edgemore houses sex offenders.
Okay, from Swallow. Yeah, here we go again, more significant items buried in consent. Nothing new, to the ones paying attention. All right, so item 8. Let's see, okay, so you seem remarkably efficient when it comes to hunting people down for what they owe you, but where's that same urgency you owe the public? If someone misses a tax payment, you track them relentlessly, like I said, but when property or funds are unclaimed, suddenly the responsibility shifts away from the county. And yeah, you gotta hunt them down. Yeah, you should hunt them down, the ones you owe, the way you hunt them down when, taxes are due. Yeah, another one, let's see, appointment of San Diego County Child Care. Okay, so stop pretending child care in this county is care and anything but. What you should be appointing is an independent auditor. Abuse, neglect, and systematic failures are far more common than this board is willing to admit. And the public has become dangerously desensitized to it. And that's a fact, that's so sad. yes, that should definitely terrify every parent in our county. And let's see, okay, communications received, okay, public communication matters. It would be fantastic if you use local media to actually encourage residents to show up or watch these meetings. So the agencies you oversee, those do too. An informed and engaged public, that would be so convenient for you. Counterproductive, really, especially when it's clear.
Good morning. My name is Becky Rapp. I'm a public health educator and a state item number 4. Thank you for your work on appointing members to advisory councils that I urge you to prioritize members with a strong understanding of drug prevention and the mental health impacts of substance use, particularly marijuana, on children, adolescents, and pregnant women. Prevention works best when it begins early. An evidence-based education during pregnancy and early childhood reduces long-term harm, supports healthy brain development, and strengthens the family. Our local emergency departments and behavioral health providers are seeing the consequences firsthand. Clinicians at Rady Children's Hospital routinely treat young children for marijuana exposure, often due to unintentional ingestion of edibles. Emergency and behavioral health specialists are also caring for adolescents experiencing serious mental health symptoms and repeated vomiting associated with cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. These are preventable harms, and that's why it's critical that advisory councils include healthcare providers, especially emergency department clinicians and behavioral health specialists, who understand both prevention and real-world impact. Dr. Natalie Law from Rady Children's Hospital, who studies pediatric marijuana exposure, would bring invaluable expertise. Thank you for your focus on the health of San Diego County children. Thank you.
Thank you. Here's the next caller.
Hey, how you guys doing? I hope you read all the documents that I provided you. And thank you, Jim, for bringing up that key point on what they're really doing. They go ahead and set it up, after we have a faulty election through the vote by mail process, they're able to go ahead and pass laws statewide to go ahead and, in the future, you are right, in the future they could selectively enforce these rules. That's it. They can go ahead and charge people that they don't like more money just because they went ahead and made these loose laws for interpretation. Isn't that correct? And Monica won't go ahead and acknowledge Julian Brown because she's more interested in the stocks that will go when we go ahead and hand over $800 billion to the tech industry for private use, which could have been used to reduce our kid that came up with this idea, made a working prototype, and the actions of California making an assembly bill to prevent us from even talking about it. At the same time, Congress decides to go ahead and fund 2 universities to build it, and guess what? They're done, aren't they? Ready to go to commercial use, right? That's why silver jumped up and then being shorted by the graphene market, because graphene will go ahead and replace all the lithium batteries that you force upon us when we begged you not to because of the fire hazards. Batteries to do that. There's better technology that you need, but yet you wasted our money so that you could waste it again to corporations and hurt us in the process. That is a fact. You don't believe me? I'll show you all the documentation. I've been trying every...
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. This is Ann Riddle. I called in today to address consent item 4. I think we all appreciate the county's care by establishing the County Child Care and Development Planning Council. But I'm concerned about some of the selection process that's reflected in the membership list. The narrative says that 4% of this council will be Asian, whereas 14% of our county is Asian. And it says that Black Americans on this council will make up 16%, but only 5% of our population is Black, and so forth. I don't expect that the optics of this maybe has been as carefully examined as it should, but for those of us who live in the backcountry, something that we've begun to notice, particularly all of us independent voters, is the county's choosing one group over another, or emphasizing one group over the other, unincorporated residents being the group that always seems to be neglected. So we think that more attention to appropriate representation on these councils should be under consideration. I think it's probably a false narrative to say that this makeup of the council resembles the demographics of San Diego County, because that just isn't true. Thank you.
Thank you. Your final comment.
My name is Jen. Consent agenda. Looks like it is for the children, the president of the San Diego County Chapter Development Planning Council. Thank you, Paul. For mentioning it earlier, you have several cases right here in front of you, in which the children are being tortured by the county and the agencies that are making it happen. So what's the point of forming a council when you can't even handle what's in front of you? You had a child abduction take place after a felony strangulation when a man who strangled the mother, me, drove them across the country on a permanently suspended license. Subsequently got full custody, full protection, UCC BAA hearing, brought the girls back home to San Diego, but what did our county and city do? They covered it up. They covered it up and allowed my children to be abducted and tortured, and same with me, okay? And our district attorney is a menace to society, and if she can't handle her job, maybe this commission or group can do it for her, because she's not. These little kids I hear about Malaya and her sister, are you serious? You have cases right in front of you that you refuse to work on, so what's the point? Is it just to show you did something? And then the public defender's office partner with the justice, whatever this justice thing is. Let me tell you about that justice thing. It's because something called body brokering is illegal. So what they do is create this coalition, this public justice coalition, or whatever it is. And the only thing they're doing is rehab placement for the public defender's office, which was taught for body brokering with these rehab owners. Over them that is now present and everyone can see it. So they use these types of partnerships to funnel these placements through, and then they funnel the kickbacks through another website, the Family Justice Center, which some are seminars.
Thank you, Chair Lawson Reamer. That concludes public comments on the items of consent.
Okay, thank you all very much. We had Supervisor Business registered a no vote on item 6, and we have a motion and a second.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I want to speak on item 1 first. This action is a step in the right direction. I think embedding client advocates has reduced the strain on attorneys and through coordination of services and led to better outcomes for youth and families. So I just want to express that I am committed to continuing to work to fully support and fund the Public Defender's Office the way it deserves. And I'd like to make a comment on item 6, which is an item that the chair and myself brought forward. Large-scale events in our county parks bring joy, culture, and economic vitality, but they also present serious risks if safety and labor standards are enforced. So the workers who make these events possible, we heard from them today. Thank you for coming out and sharing your perspective. Workers like stagehands, technicians, production crews are often temporary, subcontracted, and vulnerable, as was mentioned. Without clear enforcement, these workers are county scales of workers, supports responsible businesses, and ensures that everyone benefits from the success of these events. So I want to thank everybody who came out and spoke in support of this, and I enthusiastically support this. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. We have a motion, we have a second? Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
And for the record, let me present 1 through 6 and 8 through 13 as items 2, Fire Protection District 1, and item 7. Chair Los agreement on motion passes unanimously. Also requested being present and voting aye. Noting for the record that Supervisor Desmond Burns voted no vote on item 6.
Okay, fantastic. So 11:30, we're now going to move on to our discussion items. What we have on the discussion agenda was items 14, 15, 16. But we now also have items 2 and 7 that have been pulled. So we'll take everything in order. We'll begin with item 2. And we're going to take item 2 along with Fire Protection District 1. These are very much the same item. So we'll provide item 2 and Fire Protection District, item 1. Let's go ahead and
Chair Los agreement 14 request to speak on this item. 6 in person and 8 requesting to speak by phone. Also note for the record that you received 2 comments, 1 in support and 1 neutral. For any individuals that requested to speak on item 2 and Fire Protection District item 1 by phone, please dial in the conference line using the instructions that were provided to you. We'll begin with the in-person speakers. As your name is called, please come forward and stand on the arrows and tail restrictions to the podium. Because there are 10 or more speakers on the side, we only have 1 minute to address the board. Last speech begin by stating your name. You got your record. I'll be calling in groups of 3, so ask you please listen for your name. I'd like to invite forward the first 3 individuals: Cesar Javier, Leslie Audra, and Corey Schumacher. I call your name.
Cesar and Rita. I said, wow, this is a challenge. We need water. We need water. This has been a discussion since we are engaged in the city, county, APCD, and Sandbag. Water, water, water. I think we missed the football goals. My God, may you be helped. May we be helped to find the solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
You guys need to quit putting things that are first reading on the consent calendar. That's not routine to be doing this for the fire codes, yet you guys continue to do that so that there is no discussion, that there is no opportunity for even people to really come forward and talk about it separately, but you guys don't want to hear from the people. So, I mean, that's the whole point. And if you really cared about, fires and whatnot, you guys wouldn't be implementing things that are literally putting people in danger like you did in Rancho Bernardo or wherever it was, and the fire chief came and lied to you guys saying that it was a safe thing to put like double the amount of people with a one-way in and a one-way out, when he told the community that it would not pass today if it was brought forward today. But because it was something from the past, you guys go ahead and pass it, putting people in danger. So it's like, you don't give a shit about that.
Thank you. The next speaker is coming forward. I'd like to invite 3 additional speakers: Fernanda Flores, Mark, and Kelvin Vargas. I've called your name. Please come forward.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Corey Schumacher. I'm the Policy Director at IBW 569, representing 3,800 union electricians and power professionals in San Diego County and Imperial County. I rise before you today to urge you to ensure that minimum workforce safety standards are included in the 2026 Consolidated Fire Code. In an EPRI report that was included in the county's best practices, the data analysis revealed that assembly, integration, and construction are the main root causes of battery energy storage failures. Minimum workforce safety standards would directly address these root causes. The Fire District last year confirmed the work supervisors can direct staff to include minimum workforce safety standards in the 2026 Consolidated Fire Code. So today we would urge you to initiate this process to protect our communities, our climate future, and the workers of San Diego County. Thank you.
Thank you. Call to me, please come forward. Fernando Flores, Mark, and Calvin Vargas.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Fernanda Flores. I'm the Political Director with IATSE Local 122. I also stand here in support in the spirit of centering worker safety in support of item number 2, so long that the worker safety standards are included. And we stand in solidarity with our siblings, with IBEW, and all others that will come in front of you and speak today. So thank you.
Good morning, Chair and members of the board. My name is Calvin Vargas. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Laborers Union and our nearly 5,000 members and my business manager about the sale regarding the soon-to-be proposed workforce direction for battery energy storage systems. We support strong work safety standards. However, we cannot support moving forward with language developed with honor, transparency, and engagement from all safety stakeholders, not just a separate few. Most of these projects are built under a project labor agreement with the building trades. These agreements already require certified tradespeople, state-approved apprenticeship training, and strict enforceable safety protocols tailored to energy storage and emerging technologies. This proposal creates a one-size-fits-all mandate without recognizing the existing framework of the Safety is best improved through collaboration with labor industry experts on this side. Thank you.
Mark, I don't want to ratify the Consolidated Fire Code because it ignores this. Or you can do it.
Now, give to those who are requested to speak by phone. Again, when it is your turn to speak, you'll be unmuted and you'll hear a recording that will tell you to begin your comments. We will start with our first caller.
Although overall it looks good, but there are a few things which could be better. I'm glad you included the best test attachment E, section 104.2.2.5. However, it needs to be done on best facilities over 250 kilowatts as a minimum, Like the one in Irvine Mesa, which burned for 6 weeks. Backing up fire department resources, displacing residents, costing a lot of money. Section 105.5.5, 54.2, hazmat disposal should be modified to include waste known to be flammable, such as most mill waste or chemical waste, as well as green waste. I also note that section 503 calls for paid fire apparatus access roads capable of carrying a
Hey, it's true, some items do, and whatever the other items for discussion, put everything together. And in fact, you put a new ordinance in a consent because you don't want anyone to talk about anything, and that's just a sign of the county's lack of ethics and transparency. And then enter the grifting unions, collect the corrupt checks, profiting off homeowners' plight. No, the progressive requirement to go beyond the state fraudulent fire codes that includes things like the destruction of people's plants. Because that's what this is. The county shirking its public safety responsibilities. The county is on mountaintops for easy fire response, but no, they expect homeowners to suddenly shell out thousands for new requirements. In an environment where the county and state have enabled severe fire risk by also not clearing out drug contaminants, not clearing flammable brush, introducing flammable wind turbines, flammable electric vehicles, flammable battery energy storage sites, not fixing the broken ends, not ensuring the filling of empty reservoirs, not fully funding fire response, etc., etc., etc.
Thank you. Next caller.
Okay, thank you, Mark, for that, and for the other concerned people of our county. You're very cute. Okay, so let's just see. 1 minute. 2 items. Okay, great. Here we go. I'll take this time to acknowledge something that should be burnt to a crisp, and that is this backwards and burning system that only protects itself and not the people they claim to represent. And since the majority are not paying attention, the system will continue to screw them over. That is the consequence for their passiveness. And I do it under a minute. Woo! And with time to spare. Holy shit. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
We'll hear from the next caller.
Hi, this is Jim Whalen, J. Rowland Associates. We represent most of the large renewables projects in the region. As such, we execute project labor agreements with as many as 7 different unions. The unions negotiate fiercely over who does what work. I just heard this morning the Board of Supervisors is discussing adding language to the fire code that may favor one union over another. I would have been there in person, except I just found out this morning. This is concerning, as it's more than likely we'll end up with a situation where our project labor agreements conflict with the county's fire code. So before adopting these changes to the fire code, I recommend that there be a working group established to thoroughly think this through. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hear from the next caller.
Hi, this is Andrea Evans, and I am commenting on fire code. I want to know if, or I want to state that 100 homeowners in Ramona, San Vicente Golf Course area, have their fire insurance, homeowners insurance revoked. So I don't know if these updated fire codes are going to hurt them or help them, or what we need to consider them. And then one thing I just wanted to say is that maybe for commercial use and the nightclub, nobody should be walking around with gigantic flammable sparklers that can, result in what happened in Switzerland. I think that should be included, something about, not letting the interior of a space on fire with hundreds of people in it. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll hear from the final caller.
I don't really blame insurance companies for bouncing out of California, because we basically told everyone, get out of your gas car, buy a lithium battery vehicle, that if it overheats, it will catch on fire, and there is no put it out with water. I mean, we never really drowned it. That's what they did to the battery plants, which just feeds a bunch of toxic materials into the ground. Basically, you're just screwing over again with every single decision you make. Let's go ahead and throw concrete over everything to go ahead and increase the heat and humidity and all that stuff. No water. Like, do you think about long-term on your decisions, or are you just looking for the quick fix, quick money, quick steps? I mean, I can go ahead and give you the details on what happened to the flooding and all that stuff through evidence, through your inactions and through your policy making. And the fact that you're still encouraging people to throw concrete over their front yard instead of half.
Thank you. Chair Lawson Raymond, that concludes public comments on these items.
Okay, thank you all very much. And I do appreciate everybody here participating in this item today, which is obviously extremely important for the safety and well-being of our community. I know that issues around fires have been really critical. And I also really appreciate the focus on workplace and workplace standards that was elevated by a number of the speakers. So, seeing, I guess Supervisor here.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have some remarks. So I appreciate the significant effort that our county staff has made to develop the interim guidelines on battery energy becomes more prevalent across the county as a necessary part of our renewable energy future. Fire safety must remain a top priority, and I think we all agree on that. Our county's own analysis highlights the integration, assembly, and construction of BESS as the leading root cause of BESS failures. The complexity and unique safety challenges associated with battery, energy storage, and microgrid systems require specialized training. Certified electricians should be heavily involved in BESS construction. They have specific knowledge and hands-on skills needed to safely assemble, install, test, commission, maintain, repair, retrofit, and decommission these systems. This emerging technology that we prevent them in industry and the one that took place in Escondido. So with that in mind, I'd like to make a motion and have the Board of And as the Board of Supervisors, this does not prevent future amendments at a later date. I make a motion to add a recommendation as follows. And I think Andrew's gonna put it up and give you a moment to read. But basically it is to direct the Chief Administrative Officer to work with staff and County Council to return back within 60 days on the feasibility and options to incorporate minimum workforce safety standards. The report should include the feasibility of minimum workforce safety standards for all stages of the BESS life cycle by requiring a certified electrician to perform all electrical work involving the installation, assembly, testing, commissioning, maintenance, repair, retrofitting, and decommissioning of a BESS facility or energy storage management system. Second, require a minimum percentage of the on-site certified electricians performing electrical work involving the installation, assembly, testing, commissioning, maintenance, repair, retrofitting, and decommissioning of a BESS facility or ESMS by be certified in energy storage and microgrid training and certification, or otherwise known as ESMTech. I'll also add, I don't think this is about pitting one union over another, as one of the public commenters stated. This is about safety and making sure that all units that are part of these processes, making sure that they have the required training and sufficient training so that we make sure that we prevent future fires from happening. That is the most important thing about this item. Now, I would also like to make direct a question to our general counsel. Do you believe that this amendment is germane to the item we are considering today?
I think this is the first time I've had to speak, so apologies for the technical.
Welcome.
Thank you. Madam Chairperson, yes, this would be an appropriate discussion proposal for the item as agendized today.
At this time, so we can actually decide on this.
As the motion has been stated.
Thank you very much. I yield back, Madam Chair.
Supervisor Dustin?
I don't need to comment. I had other comments. Basically, yeah, I guess. Not necessarily opposed to them here, but I just want to thank staff and all the hard work for the fire code that is bringing forward here today. I understand that most of the changes are very administrative. I'm glad to hear there's going to be more enforcement done for those who signed on regarding vacant lots that are overgrown and pose a fire risk to the surrounding communities, particularly in the unincorporated areas. I want to say thanks to all the fire chief and fire marshals and the firefighters here in San Diego County. We're grateful for all the work that you do. But thank you very much.
Vice Chair Montgomery Scott. Thank you, Chair, for the recognition. Chairperson, thank you for this additional proposal amendment. There were a couple of comments. Thank you everyone for coming out to speak on this item. There were a couple of comments that I just wanted to be sure that I acknowledge, and that is covered by the language here, because I do think that this language is very specific. The intent, of course, I'm agreeable to. My issue is making sure that all stakeholders are at the table for these discussions. And the base language, if we're going to look at the feasibility standards, I want to make sure that we are as broad as possible to include all of the stakeholders. So that's my only issue with this. And so I don't know offhand how we could include or modify in order to meet that intent.
I absolutely would be open to that. I know someone suggested that creating a working group type. I'd be open to that.
Yeah, I think that would, I think we listen just as good of a place as me personally. So let me, go ahead, Chair.
You know, that's my favorite, right? Do it for staff, county council, and the stakeholder working group. Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Through the chair, if I may, just before you motion,
We're not ready yet.
Okay, just in terms of feedback on the language, I think the staff has some feedback to engagement opportunities and potentially requesting additional time to allow for that stakeholder engagement.
Would 90 days suffice?
For Fred, or
instead of 60?
Chairperson, the time is just
I'm okay changing it to 90.
Just a quick point of clarification, because there's a motion and now a second. So the motion and second there are moving the same thing as we're trying to give the stakeholder working group language in the motion.
Would the second be amenable to the change?
I don't see the specific change.
we're adding a stakeholder working group, and we're increasing the days from 60 to 90.
That will be-
Staff more time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Supervisor Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Two quick questions. We have a fire protection district agenda item coming up. Does this have any impact on that agenda item? I don't think it will, I just wanted to confirm that.
Is Chief Beecham here? Do you want to answer that, sir?
Hey, good morning, Supervisors. Just for clarification, I want to make a technical point that the Consolidated Fire Code involves the County Fire Protection District and our 13 independent neighboring fire districts. And so the code we're adopting today will apply to all fire protection agencies in the incorporated areas. Should you wish to consider best guidelines, is where the standards are going to reside. If we want them to apply across the unincorporated area, I think reside in their location. Otherwise, we would have to return back to the working group of the 13 independent fire districts for consideration of the best guidelines. So, from my standpoint, I think we're covered. We'll defer to council. I do appreciate the 90 days to engage with all of those stakeholders so we can ensure we're on.
In a follow-up, while we do say stakeholders, I just want to make sure that the stakeholders include fire safety folks such as Chief Meacham or Fire Marshal or somebody who actually puts fires out.
Please go ahead, Super.
I definitely agree with that, and I want to be specific about stakeholder working with all trades and other stakeholders involved, but specifically additional trades. Because that's
I'm okay
important.
with that change if the second or
So just clarifying for legislative purposes, Vice Chair Montgomery staff is making it clear that when she talks about stakeholders, she's talking about all impacted building trades, and that Supervisor Anderson is talking about people who put out fires and deal with fires. Okay, that makes sense. I have a question actually from council. Just trying to make sense of something. I just wanted to know, is this at all impacted or preempted in any way by state law? I know that there's a whole state legal regime on these questions, so if you could, I want to be clear, obviously we all share the commitment to higher workplace standards and higher safety standards. This is something this board has been working on for a long time, and very much appreciate Chief Meacham's leadership in sort of just making it happen, and not making this all delayed for eons. So thank you so much. This is the third, fourth time we've heard this, so this is very helpful. But I wanted to clarity on how this sort of intersects with the state law standards.
Thank you, Chair Austin Reamer. As far as state law is concerned, the counties have the power to regulate the quality and the character of installations that are made by regulations that relate to qualifications for contractors. What this motion would do is it would allow us to look at where there is not preemption and to try to find solutions that would work without contravening state law, which does have some limitations.
Okay, that's very helpful. I think I would just want to make sure that the sort of intent here, I would imagine that, but is to do exactly that, would be to be in alignment with state law and not bring something back that contravenes state law.
Absolutely.
Okay. As long as sort of being in alignment with state law standards is the intent here, then I think this is something I can support. So, Vice Chair Montgomery.
I don't think I remember now, but I think it was wanting clarity from the chief around the state process. But you said with the 90 days, and that gives you enough time to be able to give feedback. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Supervisor Anderson.
Thank you for recognizing me So this working group, everybody's gonna be looking at items A and B exclusively, is that correct? Or are they looking at everything involved in this?
They're just supposed to, like, my reading of this, and I, for a person to make a motion, is that this is looking at workforce safety standards for vests. Not all regulations related to vests, but workforce safety standards as it relates to vests. Is that in alignment with your understanding as a seconder? I think I would just to follow up on my questions. I definitely don't want us to be a bunch of representations that are not in alignment with sort of generally recognized California sort of do loop around. So, but I think this is great. I appreciate my colleague for taking the initiative to always use the opportunity to put in higher workplace and safety standards, so thank you so much. With that, we have a motion and a second.
Chair Lawson Reamer, that motion passes unanimously. All supervisors to be present next podium.
Okay, thank you all very much. We will now move on to item 7. And as Supervisors is the one to hold this,
I don't need a presentation.
would not like a presentation. Do you guys have comments?
I do, and what I'd like to do is offer a friendly amendment. Directing the CAO to use the $313,000 unclaimed property tax refunds to be used towards our shuttle rent subsidy. We're coming to the end. Our needs are greater than ever before, and help expand the program. That's my friendly amendment. My colleagues are seconding it. So we have
Or do you have it put up on the board?
I
Okay.
don't.
Apparently, extra people write it pretty fast.
I'm simply taking the $313 and asking that it be applied. This newfound money applied to the shell rent subsidy.
I support that.
I accept it as a second. Thank you.
Can I ask staff what would that otherwise go towards?
Thank you. Through the chair, those resources would fall to the general fund. So they will be a part of the year-end calculations related to the amounts that we have available in our unassigned fund balances.
So what I'm sure you have a budget and there was a tracker for the $313,000 because we know that's how you work. So what was the plan? So where is that money already slated to go? Where would it disappear from?
At this point in the budget planning process, we haven't identified a particular area, but we know that we have a large amount of one-time funding needs. We've heard updates from our Chief Financial Officer, Jim Brockett, who happens to be here as well, that there are significant requests that we have outstanding for general fund resources, including unlocked reserves, as well as any amounts that we might have available in unassigned fund balances above our minimums. That could include capital improvements, for example, operational needs, and or bridge funding, for example, to help us sustain operations as we have things like HR1.
Yeah, I would love to get, if we can, just get some more clarity on that. I think I was in initial and love it. But I also acknowledge we're in a really difficult fiscal environment, and the notion of making decisions in a vacuum about money in one-off ways, given the huge number of competing uses, makes me a little uncomfortable. So it would be very helpful if we could get a sense of what else is on the plate that this kind of takes the money away from.
update on our outlook and anticipated needs that we have for one-time resources. This action, unless you're going to go with other action today, would require us to come back in any event to establish appropriation, and we would do that through that same action.
So this would not appropriate today. It would just include at our next budget adjustment. And when is that upcoming budget adjustment?
March 3rd.
Okay, so just to be, so this vote today would essentially have allowed this potential use of 330,000 to be included as one of many potential uses of fund balance when we come back on March 3rd. Is that correct?
That is correct. And on March 3rd, we will share an update of what our one-time needs are as it relates to other competing interests for uses of fund balance. And we would also include action that would be required to take appropriation action to move forward with this. So you're working affirmative action today.
Okay, thank you so much. Supervisor Desmond.
Was that your motion?
Repeat it again, because it was said many times, so I'm not sure which
Well,
version.
it sounds like it's going from being specifically directed to this being a possibility of going there. Is it what?
Well, I was specifically directing it, but if that's inappropriate without it coming back, you know, I'm trying to do what we can do that's within the confines of the law. Perhaps our county council can intervene.
I have thought
What's your question about the action that should be taken?
Can we direct it today, or does it have to be directed to come back?
It would be appropriate the notice provided for this item, so that was your intention.
So that was my original motion was, thank you, Supervisor Desmond, that was my original motion, that it would go correctly there.
And just to follow up with that, I'm jealous I didn't think of this first. As I was reading it, I should have come up with something. But it's a very worthy cause, and so I don't have to support what you put forward. Thanks.
I just want to clarify though from county council, is the motion as written an appropriation? Because I think we have some distinct, like, what I'm understanding is that the intent of the motion maker is to appropriate funds, but the motion is drafted does not appropriate. On March 3rd, as part of the quarterly budget motion, if this passes, you do not appropriate the funds, even though you're trying to appropriate the funds, because it's not drafted in order to appropriate the funds. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Perhaps, based on what I requested, since I didn't offer the formal language.
Okay. I would say, I love to play that role. I would not like to appropriate the funds today. I do think it's a good and worthy cause. I think it is great, actually. But I would like to kind of consider it as part of the big package of many needs that we're looking at on March 3rd. Because I think that's a better fiscal planning process when we're able to look at everything all together. I'm likely to support it at the time. I can't make promises, but from my point of view, in terms of fiscal planning, I think we should look at this all as a package. So I will not draft your motion for you, but just want to make sure we're all clear that if this passes as done, as drafted, it will not appropriate funds. It will come back on March 3rd. If you want it to pass differently, then you need to pause so you can redraft your motion, and then you need 4 votes.
Perhaps our clerk of the board could just direct that real quickly.
It's the first one. So your motion is next.
This is why we hire an excellent staff. I will commit to you that whatever future money we give, I'll reduce it by $313.12. $313.12.
Vice Chair Martin, step.
Yeah, so just as Andrew is doing that, every decision we make has to go through the appropriation process, though, right? That's how we do the updates, quarterly and otherwise. Anyway, is that accurate or no?
No, we can appropriate with 4 votes. Okay, anytime we can appropriate with 4 votes.
Okay. What is the, I think this is a good use of funds. What is the amount that we have over the past couple of years, put towards the Charlotte Subsidy Program?
Thank you for that question. Let me pull the information.
Okay. Just would like to know in comparison to what we're actually doing, right? And then our Charlotte Subsidy Program, is it for seniors only in the county, or is it across all the seniors? Okay. Because I could also see supporting our additional prevention, just in this family sort of. There's parts of the population, but overall, I'm okay with supporting this. Is this the final motion here?
Mayor, second, do you accept that?
Yeah, I think it's fine, and I just wanna acknowledge the Vice Chair's comments and agree. We wanna make sure that we fund some of those other programs that you just mentioned. Personally, I think the shallow rent subsidy program, as was stated, only serves seniors. I really don't want to have one for anybody who needs assistance. I know that's probably fiscally unattainable, but I agree. I think there's a lot of other programs that we should be supporting, and I know that we're going to get to that discussion when we get to it. But I think it's a good opportunity.
And to be fair, this population is the fastest rising population in the homelessness community. So I certainly, as a matter of equity, right, that we should be looking at it that way. Decisions like this were not necessarily looking at the full picture, which is always, I'm just always cautious about that. But in general, it's not money gone to that, right? So.
Through the chair, just to answer the question of the Vice Chair, over the last 4.5 years, we have appropriated $5 million for this program. Over the last 4.5 years.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was listening to everybody, and I thought it was excellent comments. The department that produced efficiency reports on how we're doing with studies. Perhaps a study like every 4 or 5 years to let us know if a program is really successful or not. Only something like that costs us $20 million and 22 employees.
Okay, we have a motion, and a second, and any other comments, Supervisor Group? No? Okay, thank you very much, please vote. Comments, sorry. We all were so intent on trying to figure out how to use the 350,000. I apologize, please go to call time.
Thank you, Chair Reamer. We have 9 requests to speak on this item, 3 in person and 6 requesting to speak by phone. Also note for the record that we received 1 e-comment in support. For any individuals that requested to speak by phone on item 7, please dial into the conference line now using the instructions that were provided to you. I'd like to invite forward either Javier, allegedly Audra, and Mark. You'll have 2 minutes to address the board unless you begin by stating your name for the audio record.
Thank you, God, Cesar and Purita. We heard your inputs. We heard your opinions and ideas. Thank God you're thinking. We are all thinking. And we pray that the purpose of this money that is already left behind by San Diego should go into a moral purpose. And that moral purpose, whatever you decide, should be done as thought of. Therefore, let us specify, if I were the owner of that money, I would see to it that it goes to the proper use. For example, I died of cancer coming from the toxic gases from next door. So I would probably, hey honey, give this to the Cancer Society to ensure that there will be cure someday. Something like that. People, mom stick. To reinforce your idea, Mom Aguirre, Mom Rimmer, you give the public special thoughts and ideas, Sir Anderson. Clean water, clean air, clean food, clean and safe neighborhood. I think that's the idea of that dead person. Isn't it, honey? For the survival of man, which is one of the elements in urban planning. Sir Attorney, please, God, help our thinkers come up the rightful solution as taught us by our under God, by God, divine intervention. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Mark, well, I really appreciate you doing this so I can show what an absolute understanding you guys are. So, in the first place, obviously, if you cared at all about returning the funds to the property owners, you could just write them a check. I mean, you're the ones who made the amount that was wrong in the first place, I guess, and now you want to give them a refund. You send the property tax bill to their address. You know their name. You can make out a check that's good for 90 days and send it to them. And if it's not cashed by them personally with their ID in 90 days, then it's not cashed. But no, you obviously don't want them to have their to make sure it doesn't happen. The simplest, easiest way. It's also worth mentioning that the whole idea to put it into rental subsidies is a total scam because the people don't get enough money from the corporations and the businesses to have a good standard of living. That's the problem. It's not that we need a communist system where everybody, especially the middle class, pays for rent subsidies as inflation caused by the Federal Reserve. And people should really see Zeitgeist Addendum, Peter Joseph documentary. Those are some of the words in the title on YouTube. See it from 6 minutes, 40 seconds to 25 minutes to understand how inflation is caused by the Federal Reserve. And Tara constantly talks about how it's a big problem, but nobody talks about what's causing it intentionally, making more and more people poor, so our rent subsidies will have to subsidize more and more people from the middle class and everyone, because the corporations won't pay enough money. Everything about this is wrong. Send them their money back by check, their property tax refunds, and stop scamming the people.
Next speaker, please.
Oh, stop scamming the people. It is so interesting to watch vultures, racketeers, who are also like piranhas, just go after money. Newfound money, right, Joel? It's newly found. You guys, what bucket are you going to put it in? Let's fight over it because I want it to go into my pockets and not your pockets. Yeah, it's funny because you just choose not to. And Paloma, I mean, why are you lying saying that you paid your property taxes? Straight to my partner's face. Yeah, and then you said, say hello. Hi! Yeah, that's... Yes, what bucket will it end up? And then now you're going to give it to the child trafficking network. How cool is that? That was smart, HHSA. Oh, and they're going to really protect those seniors. And make sure. Oh my gosh, this is such a clown world that we live in, where people, you know, want to figure out where to appropriate $313,000. You know what? I'll take it, put it in my pocket, and it will actually benefit people right now, because you guys don't want it as well. You guys are good at just being so evil.
Now, if the individuals that requested to speak, I can start with them.
Hello, I hope everyone notified of the pending achievement. Reminds me of the word sheep. Especially if they have fled or moved out, the county is you're kind of incentivizing. If so, the achievement should put a bit of a dent in the budget gap. On transferring money from the reserves. I think the general reserves have been kind of depleted a bit, or maybe even a lot, depending on what current plotting is. I think this back from the achievement should be a specific program at this point. Transfer out later, make a case, transfer out then. But, you know, another thing I'd appreciate if you don't keep forgetting the public speakers. I mean, public speech is a very important part of the process. You should not be repeatedly forgetting when public speakers are to be called. I mean, that in addition to putting the unconsent speakers which do not belong here. Those are real problems.
Thank you. Next caller.
Hey, it's true. Terror for getting public comment comes up every agenda item perfect because it's all political theater, right? For the record, I want to completely change an item after public comment, no ethics and no transparency. Ironically and not surprisingly, this is the same entity that came with their own property taxes. But if she said she actually paid it, it must have been when I ignored her when she was speaking. Sorry about that. I'd like some hypocrisy eliminated from items like this, though, so maybe the motion should be considered ineligible to vote on any item regarding property taxes. And by the way, Manuela, thanks for crossing your fingers a couple months back, because I'm in a mansion now. No to exchanging people $313,000 in property tax refunds. I almost appreciate Joel's innovative idea of using it for an unaudited shadow rent subsidy program that almost nobody qualifies for. But again, why not refund it all to every registered county citizen? Why should the money ever go into the county's general fund only to be misused on policies that harm property owners and everybody else who resides within county limits? That's why rental subsidies even exist, because this board has helped increase the cost of living while decreasing the quality of life. And no, I think the county could get away with a single auditor or internal control director just like that. But I can tell you who they wouldn't want in charge. That's you. Nobody wants you in charge of the money. So I have an alternative direction idea. Put it in a locked trust fund. So years later, when everyone on this board is gone, there will be a savings available after this board is exhausted the budget and the reserve. Because it was so funny to hear people struggle to say fiscally under like these. We don't look at the full picture. You guys are a joke. I guess that qualifies as this corrupt county finally starting to think, but at what low level? Perhaps their minds, especially Tara's, are too concerned with creating a dictatorship via unlimited term limits. God help these people, indeed, you guys need it. I hope.
Thank you. The next caller.
Swallow. Okay, so yeah, you all are salivating over that money, ain't ya? And Tara, yeah, you were so excited about you were so excited about it, you even forgot about public comment, and that is, yeah. Those are a lot about you, ladies. And yeah, as I mentioned before, you need to hunt down people owed for their next of kin and return it. Everything that Mark said was on point. And continue to behave like parasites, eating and stealing from the people, devouring their hard-earned money, instead of doing the right thing by returning it. But yeah, whatever you decide, I hope it goes to a good place, for a good cause. Prove me wrong. What else do I have on this? Yeah. That's all I got, I think, like, yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
I really cannot wait for March. Now, I love your last two comments because it basically shined a humongous spotlight. Tara, you went ahead and said, you want to talk to all the stakeholders. Well, earlier you defined us, the people, as stakeholders. And then Monica basically reinforced the thing, meaning, no, we're only talking about the NGOs. And then the last one, really what you guys are doing is you recognize that Trump is going after the woke NGOs and propping up other NGOs, and you're pissed off about that, right? So you want to go ahead and create that thing so you can go after what? Jewish Family Services? Is that your plan? You're going to try to go after them to wipe out their fraud. So really, it's just trying to maintain the system until Trump is gone. You're going to go ahead and do as much diversion as humanly possible to not address the core issue, which is voter fraud. But, I don't. And if you want to express those options, continue down your path. If you want to go ahead and work for a resolution, let's do that. But if you want to continue escalating, I'm more than happy to oblige. And I already showed you my entire workbook. I give you all my tools. So you can go ahead and judge for yourself. And, your new freaking lawyer, yeah, he would not be able to beat me like he beat Trump. And he knows it. I already have all the documents ready. They're ready for anyone to go ahead and look up. Find me on Twitter, my pin post, and ask questions yourself. Ask for the documentation that I have for any of these issues and all that stuff. Hell, they can even find you more documentation. Thank you.
I'm just Andrea Evan, the taxpayer dollars. So I'm just wondering, when the city operates and tries to collect taxes from, let's say, a tax recovery, the owner of the tax recovery then ultimately sues him, right? Because he says, the way he got to where he is by not paying his attorneys and not paying his taxes, right? So he doesn't have to follow the law. He's done Title 7. But the city sues him, and then the county at the same time. How is that possible? I have questions, and I don't want to be morbid. I'm just very concerned. how and what happened to him. And it's very unfortunate. I'm concerned for the sooner and let him more. And then it looks like we're kind of rotating through collectors. It looks like we don't want to return the money. And I would like my $700 back from the library book that I returned to the downtown library very soon after I had pulled it out. And then, like a few years later, somebody from the county or city called threatening me to withhold money from my taxes. Ultimately, what was happening is I paid $700 for a paperback book that I had returned, and then the very supporter of our library confirmed with me that it was returned. So I'll pay $700. This is how bad on that check. Thank you.
Thank you, and Chair Lawson, that concludes public comments inside.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just one word. Well, two more quick questions. Just based on the shelter and subsidy program, how much, you said it's been $5 million allocated over the last 4.5 years, or $5 million spent?
Thank you for that clarifying question. We have spent $5 million.
Okay, and how much has been allocated?
A total of $6 million has been allocated.
So we still have $1 million for this program right now to be expended.
That's correct. The remaining amount is $1 million through the remainder of the program duration, which is slated to.
Okay. And with the current framework and parameters of the program, can we get $1,300,000 out the door by the end of this year? I guess that's the question.
Let me give it to you just a second to respond for this.
Okay.
We'll take a moment. Nobody should feel rushed.
Yeah. Generally still supported by this, we know what I'm doing.
Supervisors.
If I may, when we have a surplus at the end of the year, we usually have budget adjustments and we all vote on it. So any surplus that we come to at the end of the year can be readjusted. It's not going to just roll over.
I've been part of the process for a couple of years now. I just want to, again, when we do make decisions that we're not necessarily able to think through, then even if we deem good, sometimes it can turn out to be something different. But I'm still generally supportive. I just want to know. Just questions I would ask during any appropriations or any item that has to do with the budget allocation.
And while we're waiting for the response, the $1 million, yes, it's planned to be extended by the end of the fiscal year, and I'm waiting for the response on the additional application.
Chair, it's up to you. We can move forward if you want. But I know that probably if Ms. Shelton could maybe get that answer to all of the supervisors at some point.
I just want to say again for the record, obviously very supportive of this program. Appreciate the support of my colleagues on a program that I originally brought forward. I can't support this today because I don't think it's appropriate fiscal planning. There's already enough money in the account to get us to the end of this year. There may very well be other urgent needs that we need to spend funds on in this fiscal year that we would need to use unassigned general fund balance for. And those questions are going to be presented to us in less than a month. It's 2/10. The CEO is coming back on 3/3 with an entire framework of all the hundreds of millions of unmet needs. I don't think it's good fiscal planning to do one-offs like this. So I will be not supportive of this today, but not because I'm not supportive of the program, but I am supportive of not spending money on things this year that if there's something else that's on that list that our CEO has identified as sort of like more immediate and more urgent. So that, just wanted to say that again for the record. CEO,
Thank you, through the chair. Just to respond to the remaining $315,000, the team says that we will be able to spend those funds by the end of the fiscal year if we were to come to that.
Okay, thank you.
have a motion on the floor and a second.
And Chair Losser, just to clarify for the record, to comply with the revenue taxation code, staff is recommending the addition of two general funds, shown on the screen here after the words.
Okay. Thank you, Andrew, for correcting my colleague's motion.
Do we need to confirm that we do it that language, or has it staggered?
It's just been changed by the, and just confirmed it for you.
Oh, excellent. Excellent work.
Yeah. He was working on it. Reminding everyone it's a forward items, this is an appropriation today. Please take a vote.
Chair Lawson Reamer, that motion passes with Chair Lawson Reamer voting no, all other supervisors being present and voting no.
Okay, all, thank you so much. We'll take lunch now.